Discontent fans, hi and welcome back to part 3 of the Joshua Taylor Challenge. If you haven't watched parts 1 or 2, or just this is the first one you watched, Mr. Taylor tasked me with picking 3 of my favorite albums. Originally, we modified the challenge. 3 of my favorite albums from the past 3 decades, the 2010s till now, the 2000 to 2009, and 1990 to 1999. And I said, dude, only 3? You know, to whittle it down to just 3 choices was really tough. So he said, okay, fine, I'll give you 2 more picks, but one of them has to be a solo album. The other one has to be at least 3 original members, but basically just consider a bonus pick. So this is part 3 for the solo album pick. And man, just like with all the others, it was hard whittling it down to just one thing. And I was looking through the collection, I came across one album that just, when I saw it, I stuck out and said, no, this is it. This is the pick. And even though I saw this guy's cohort live just the other night, I had to go with this person's album. This person being Jon Auer of the Posies, and I just saw Ken Stringfellow live the other night, which was a great show. And Ken, no offense, brother, even though you have some fine solo albums of your own, I had to go with Jon's because this album just really spoke to me. This came out in 2006. It was Jon's full-length debut. Up until this point, he'd only put out like an EP or 2, max. Ken had already put out a couple solo albums by this point. But Jon's debut was really great. And as you can tell from the title, probably not going to be all sunshine and roses. But great stuff. Songs dealing with the end of things, the end of relationships, the end of life. Deals with like other topics like alcoholism, breakups, and all that stuff. So obviously not necessarily always a fun record, but one that really spoke to me, and there's some great songs on it. Unlike Ken, who really, when he did his solo stuff, he tended to get a little bit more eclectic, Jon keeps it pretty close to the Posies. A lot of these tunes could have been Posey songs, and there's nothing wrong with that in my book, because I love the Posies. But he does step out a little bit on his own. It's great too because, you know, it features his awesome singing voice and his great guitar work, which goes unrecognized a lot of time. And he also throws in some mellotron and organ work in this puppy as well. But lots of great tunes, like the one playing in the background now, the lead-off track of the album called 6 Feet Under. Probably, I'm ruining it by speaking over it, but probably one of the best end of relationship songs you will ever hear. Plenty of other great tunes on this album. Josephine, hey, song that's the feminine my name, I like that. Cemetery Song, Wicked World, which is one of the most haunting ballads he's ever written. My Sweet Unknown, Bottom of the Bottle, like, these are all favorites of mine off this album. And of course, Jon, not only a member of the Posies, but also a member of Big Stars, done some work with them after the death of a couple of guys, from Chris Bell and some of the other guys in the Big Star died. They brought in Jon and Ken from the Posies. And there's a lot of resurgence going on with Big Star right now, because there's a new documentary, if you haven't seen, I probably mentioned it a couple times now, about Big Star, called Nothing Can Hurt Me Now. So Jon's been back out there on the road kind of helping promote the album, as is Ken as well. And I don't know if Jon's got anything going on now. Maybe you can tell us at some point. Basically, I know he's still kind of out there doing his thing. He lives abroad, travels over here sometimes. Pretty much now he's just been doing the Big Star thing. But if you get a chance to go out and pick it up, this album will not do you wrong. Jon Auer's Songs from the Year of Our Demise in 2006. Great release. Go out and track it down. And for Posies fans, I was just listening to a podcast this morning, live from High Fidelity. Look it up on iTunes if you're a fan of podcasts. It's a good one. Jon was a special guest, and they confirmed that the first 4 Posies albums are getting the re-release treatment from my favorite reissue record label right now, Omnivore Records. I cannot wait for these to come out. I know with Omnivore, they're going to do a fine job, so thanks to Cheryl and all the folks at Omnivore. Can't wait. Please get them up on the release schedule soon. And that's it for this episode. We will back with the next one shortly, which will be 2010 to now. A pick from there. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We'll talk to you later. Bye.